by Jacob Ingalls. James sits in a chair center stage, dressed in the clothes one would expect of a college student. He is surrounded by reason, emotion, and ego. Reason is dressed somewhat conservatively. Emotion is wearing very bright clothes which do not have to match. Ego is dressed similarly but not identical to James. James sits with his head down while the others expose the inner thoughts and parts of consciousness of James as he experiences an internal debate. Though there are 4 actors on stage, there is one character.
We gotta figure this out.
Hello, what's up?
There's a decision to be made.
Decide what?
Peace, all of you. It is the job we must discuss.
What job is this?
The one that Mr. Jones offered.
I don't know about that, Mr. Jones.
Slow down. Mr. Jones is not the issue here.
That is right. You must not let us get off track.
I know, but I just don't trust that Mr. Jones. The way he looks, he's just so casual. I don't know how you guys can take him so seriously.
You're the one to talk.
That's besides the point. I don't run a company.
Mr. Jones and her own personal attire is not the matter of our concern at the moment. Would you like it better if he wore a suit?
TBH, yes.
How Mr. Jones looks does not determine who he is. Just think for a moment there.
I agree. Let us look solely at the issues actually at hand rather than how we feel about a particular person.
Fine. But I always distrust him.
Mr. Jones, himself aside, has offered a job.
Servant manager. Not bad considering we are hardly out of college.
And it fits our skills rather well. We did go through all those courses in computer science for a reason.
And he can pay much better than our current job at the supermarket.
Then it is settled. We shall accept.
But moving.
What of it?
We have to pick up and move across half a country. Isn't that a big deal?
It is common for people that need to move when they get a new job.
It's not a big deal, really.
But having to find a new apartment, and to pack up all that stuff, and put it on your truck.
All simple and common parts of movement.
There's nothing wrong with moving. Actually, it's a good thing for us.
See, nothing to fret about.
What about Tommy?
What of Tommy?
What's gonna happen to him if we move? Won't we be, I don't know, abandoning him?
Oh. We do have to think about Tommy.
Won't he be fine? He'll manage.
He's hardly 12.
Won't Mom take care of him?
I don't think so. Her illness.
If we can't watch after him, then it wouldn't be right to leave Tommy.
But surely there is something else, a friend who could look out for him.
You know very well there isn't.
Would be a pity to turn down that job just for time.
A pity? That's the best word you can think of?
I certainly would advocate for words stronger than pity for the situation.
Fine. Since we have to move for the job and Tommy needs us, we'll just bring him along.
I'm surprised at you. But that just might work.
And make him leave his school?
That would be fine.
People change schools all the time.
No, he doesn't take change well. He would have so much trouble.
But it would kill him.
No, but it would be really hard.
We do have to think about that.
But bringing Tommy along is still a possibility.
For now, let's assume that we can't and try to think of something else.
Good. So we have to stay here for Tommy's sake. Besides, there might be snakes. You know, poisonous little reptiles that slither around.
I think we know what snakes are.
I wanted to know why they came up at all.
Because snakes are scary.
Snakes are not that bad.
Besides, we have snakes here.
That's right. If snakes are that big of a deal, then we should be trying to leave as quickly as possible.
Okay, then let's get out of here and away from the snakes.
No, remember, there's more snakes over there, okay? We'll
Good.
just hang out here.
Good, we'll stay.
Are you settled down about the snakes now?
Yes. Just a thought, no. We have to consider such things.
What we really need to be concerned about is Tommy, but as long as you're happy about the snakes.
So I decided that we stay here and lose the job opportunity?
But Mr. Jones might offer us a job closer, nearby.
He said there was no chance of that. The post out there was the only one he had.
Then get him to move someone else out there.
That's not fair to them, then.
Or what if there's somebody who just wants to move?
Did we decide that we want to move?
Well, no.
Therefore, nobody else wants to move.
That's flawed reasoning.
How? It makes sense to me.
You're applying our experience to the whole human experience. You just can't do that.
So?
There could really be somebody who wants to move, and you're denying them the possibility.
I really doubt that there's anyone who wants to move.
I don't know. Let's not count on there being someone.
Then you're telling me that there is no choice. We must not move, but the only possible job requires us to move. Essentially, we're stuck.
So,
But that's not fair. We could get a job and a life and move on. That would be good, wouldn't it?
But at what cost?
pretty big one. You yourself was all concerned about staying here just a bit ago.
When are we ever gonna get a chance like this again?
Possibly never.
Or next week.
You really can't be sure.
But I want to be sure.
There's already some things we can't be sure of, like,
We've established we should move.
Because of Tommy.
Yes, because Tommy. But we also know that we can't go on working in the supermarket forever. It's just not reasonable.
But where else will we find somewhere else to work? Mr. Jones seems like the only way.
I thought you didn't trust him. It seems as though you should be relieved we've decided against him.
I know, but I'm just not so sure anymore. What if there aren't any more computers? We need computers for our job.
hang on, where would all the computers go?
I'm not sure, but they could all just go away one day.
I really don't think that'll happen.
Why are we even talking about this?
Haven't we already come to a decision?
I thought we did.
I think we just need to consider.
What more is there to consider?
Nothing, we've already decided everything.
But what about the future?
We'll get around to that in due time.
For now, all the important points have been covered.
Are we all in agreement then?
Agreement to what?
To turn down the job.
That's right by me.
Well then, I guess it's the best decision we have.
James stands up.
Mr.
Mr. Jones, I'm afraid that I'll have to refuse your offer of the job. Thank you.
Thank you.
End of play. Social by Julia Fessenden. Scene. The stage is divided into two sections. Each section is a bedroom. On the left is an unnaturally clean teenage boy's bedroom. A computer desk with a computer is sitting against the dividing walls. There's a rolling desk chair, a bed, and a television in the corner. On the other side, preferably the right, is an atypically messy teenage girl's room. A computer desk with a computer is sitting against the dividing wall as well. She also has a bed and a rolling desk chair. Clothes and books and empty tea mugs are strewn on her floor and desk. There should be a screen on which some of the computer interaction can be shown to the audience. Stephen is the first to enter his bedroom, carefully hanging his bag on a hook or placing it carefully on his bed. He pulls out his homework, goes to sit at his desk. After a minute, he slams the book closed and turns on the computer. We can hear him thinking.
I'm just gonna check Facebook really quickly.
Katrina enters her bedroom, flinging her backpack onto the floor. She sits at the desk and violently starts her computer.
Tumblr, Facebook, fanfiction.
Okay, suggest friends. Burke, Sandra Stevens, Katrina Jensen, David Stevens, Katrina Jensen.
He clicks on her name.
I know her. I actually know her. That's better than most of these suggestions. Ian Burke and I have 4 mutual friends. Yeah, well, I never met the guy. Okay, I'll send her a friend request.
He sends her a request.
Alex slammed the door as he walked out of the apartment. Magnus didn't.
She is cut off by the sound of a Facebook notification.
What the heck?
She is obviously anxious about the name of the person who wants to friend her, Stephen Hendricks.
Should I?
She does. The sound of the notification bings. Stephen closes his open book.
Katrina Jensen accepted your friend request. Yes.
I probably shouldn't have done that. What does this mean? Does he like me? No, Katrina, don't read into it too much. Just write.
There's the sound of furious typing for a few seconds, and then the sound of a message. Katrina pauses, startled.
Hey, Katrina. Welcome to the black hole of Facebook.
Holy crap, no, he did not just message me. No, how to respond.
God, I hope this wasn't too macabre. I also think I'm a weirdo.
Message sound.
Is the black hole a good thing or a bad thing?
She is indulging him. She has actually been on Facebook a long time and knows how life-consuming it actually is.
I don't know. You tell me. I'm supposed to be doing homework right now.
Ah, I see. Bad then.
Not necessarily.
Okay then. Is it like Tumblr?
Tumblr?
He doesn't know what Tumblr is? Oh no. He's gonna think I'm crazy.
Against her better judgment, she sends the following message.
Yeah, it's like Google Images, but with cooler people with awesome passions.
Like what?
TV shows, books, at least the blogs I follow.
Would there be any sports blogs?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't venture from my side of Tumblr.
I will check out this site that may or may not have sports blogs in exchange for your blog name.
Oh, the thing about Tumblr blogs that you don't give your blog name to anyone you don't trust to know your deepest, darkest secrets.
So what was your blog name again? I didn't catch it.
If only I had wings, I would be like the angels.tumblr.com.
Katrina and Stephen exit their rooms. A few seconds later, they enter again. You can hear screaming in the background now, coming from Katrina's parents. Katrina looks very sad until she sees Stephen's name on her active friends list. She sends him a message.
How did the game go?
We lost.
That's terrible. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, we do have at least one last shot at the championship.
Good. I hope you win your next game.
Katrina grabs her backpack and a rolling duffel bag as she walks out of the room this time. Stephen exits, enters, looks at the computer. He does this quite a few times, indicating a few days have passed. Katrina finally re-enters and drops onto her bed before checking her computer. A beat passes until Stephen enters.
Where have you been?
Out of town without Wi-Fi. Sorry.
Oh, you haven't even replogged anything on Tumblr. I was worried.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Mom wanted me to go visit my aunt in the mountains of Colorado. It was pretty awful.
That must have been boring. Bad news. We lost again.
I'm sorry about that too. That must suck.
There's always next year.
Be happy for that.
Katrina's mother enters Katrina's bedroom. They sit on her bed.
He's gone.
You promise?
Yes, I promise. All of his things are on the street and he's on his way out.
I'm sorry, Mom. I know you loved him.
Yeah, well, he changed. A lot. I swore I'd never let my child experience this, but I guess I'll have to go back on my word.
I understand. Please just...
Alright, okay. I get it. I'll leave you alone now.
Yeah, thanks. I'll come make dinner in a little while.
Katrina's mom nods and exits, and Katrina rushes to the computer. There's been a small pileup of messages.
So what has happened since we last talked? Katrina? Did you leave? Katrina?
Can I tell you something? It's a secret.
I can keep a secret.
His tone is playful because he doesn't think anything is wrong.
You promise?
I promise, Katrina. What's wrong?
My parents are getting a divorce.
They both sit for a while, messaging back and forth, Katrina crying and Stephen with worried expression on his face. They exit. Stephen limps back in on crutches. Katrina has mascara trailing down her face as she walks in. They both have obviously had a bad day.
Katrina?
Yeah?
I blew out my ankle playing soccer with my friends today.
My best friend decided she wanted to leave for the popular kids. Apparently we're too nerdy for her now or something. I don't really know.
So unfair.
The football season is over, right? It isn't fair though.
I wasn't talking about my ankle. I was talking about your friend.
It's fine. I understood her motives.
No, it sucks. No one should ditch someone like that.
No, it's okay. I've gotten over it. Let it go.
I just don't want anyone to hurt you.
Thank you.
Katrina?
Yeah?
I like you.
Katrina reads the message several times out loud to herself, then squeals, kicking the desk so that her rolling chair sends her flying across the room.
Are you being serious? Like we've never talked or anything.
Yes, we have, unless you don't count the multiple conversations that we've had here.
Oh, yeah. I do.
So?
So?
Still waiting to be rejected here.
Are you serious? I like you too.
Stephen's reaction is a little tamer. He pumps his fist in the air, smiling crazily, then puts his head down on his desk. They talk for a while, then exit. When they enter again, this time both smiling, and Stephen no longer has crutches.
You looked really pretty today.
You're kidding. I was very nicely complimented by one of your best friends today.
Don't listen to them.
Easier said than done.
I know. I'm sorry. I'll tell them to back off. Of course, it would be easier if we went public. They'd accept you as one of us then.
They've obviously had this conversation before.
You know I can't.
Why?
For one, I'm not a social climber. If I do that, I'll lose the friends I actually have.
You'll make new friends.
They wouldn't be real.
So you're saying that I don't have real friends?
No. I'm saying that I think they still wouldn't accept me.
Please, Katrina, I'll make them accept you.
Let me take it over with my friends first.
Fine. Tell me when you come to a decision.
Okay.
I have to go.
Okay. Are you sure you still can't talk?
No, I can't. Sorry.
Bye.
Bye.
He stands and punches the wall, then leaves the room. Katrina grabs a book as she exits this time. They each enter and exit a few times, avoiding their computers. This indicates about a week has passed.
My friends weren't happy, but I think they'll understand.
That's nice to know.
Are you still mad?
Yeah, just a little.
I'm sorry. We can make it public. I promise I won't make a big deal about it anymore.
You promise?
Yeah, I do. I like you, and I think everyone should know. Plus, hiding behind a computer screen isn't going to protect me forever, and that, I guess, was really what made me change my mind.
Fine. Thanks, Katrina. Now, if that's over, I have a question for you.
All right, shoot.
Will you go to prom with me?
No, that's one thing I won't do.
Why not?
That's too much, and prom is in 3 days, so
You've got a point. This is kind of short notice. Well, will you at least go on a date with me?
of course.
Smiley face. They sit a while. Katrina exits first. Stephen exits a few moments later. When Katrina comes back in, it is not straight to her computer, it is straight to the floor under her bed.
What can I wear? Stephen, I love you, but you're causing unneeded stress.
She runs out with an outfit.
Mom!
Stephen enters his bedroom wearing khakis and a polo.
Katrina, I love you, but I would much rather go to prom.
He shakes his head and exits. Katrina re-enters, this time not in a crazy rush. She's calm as she sits at the computer. Stephen is in the rush this time.
Katrina, I got the scholarship.
Wow, that's awesome!
I can't believe it.
I'm so happy for you. Guess what?
What?
I got accepted to a college a couple miles away, so I can see you often.
Great. So, can I see you today?
Yeah. No, wait, I can't. I'm hanging out with Eliza and Ian today. And Sarah. It's part of the deal I made with them, so they didn't think I was ditching them. I'll talk to you tomorrow, though. I love you.
Bye, have fun. Wait. Did you just say you loved me?
Yeah, I thought it was about time. We've been dating for almost a year, and it was true forever ago.
You sound so casual about it. Can you call me? I want to hear you say it.
Yes.
She picks up her cell phone. Now she is talking to Stephen.
Hi. Hi. I love you.
I love you.
End of play. Excerpts from When Father Came Home by Mary Elizabeth Lloyd. Oh, Stan broke. Just a quick note, Mary actually can't be with us because she is at college, and she was here last week, but she's not able to be here this week. But we're very happy to be reading her play.
I still think she should have came back.
All the way from Virginia.
Yes.
It would have been quick.
When Mary came home.
Excerpts from When Father Came Home by Mary Elizabeth Lloyd. Act 1, Scene 1. The scene is May, 1985. A rather large group of people are gathered around a freshly dug grave while the minister delivers the eulogy. What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong plays softly in the background. The weather is sunny and the sound of birds chirping can be heard off stage. Charles Q. Dowd, or Charlie, enters stage left, whistling along to the song. He pauses a moment to watch and addresses the audience.
I always imagined dark skies and rain for a funeral. But look, the sky is clear and the sun is shining as brightly as ever. To be perfectly honest, I would love to have weather like this at my funeral. It can't always be rain and clouds for every funeral. People die every day. And if there were rain at every funeral, well, the world would be a lot more depressing than it already is. And you had best hope you're a good swimmer. Or that evolution decides to turn you into some humanoid aquatic being. Wouldn't that be something? You know, I believe the weather plays with our emotions.
He takes out a cigarette from his coat pocket.
So to have rain on days when we're hurting the most can only make us feel sadder. I want the sun to be out, so
He lights a cigarette.
after my funeral, with a little luncheon to be served afterwards, my grandchildren could run about and play and laugh while the grown-ups watch them play and smile and laugh amongst themselves at the little ones' shenanigans and forget the ache in their chests for a while.
He pauses to listen to the minister, who is reading out of a large Bible.
It says in the book of James, yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a moment and then vanishes.
He closes his Bible with a dramatic snap.
I think we can all agree that this man certainly took this saying to heart and made sure that every moment in his life counted.
Oh, well, that's good, I suppose. You all should take a leaf out of this man's book, whoever he was. If you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, and I mean the bigger picture, you'll see that life lasts only a moment. And then it's over. Just like that. One second you're there, and then you blink and you open your eyes and you're buried 6 feet under. It has to make you think to yourself how you're living your life, and if you're living it in such a way so that people will always remember you, and not be secretly glad that you're gone from this world.
He continues listening to the minister.
He was a good man, selfless and caring, beloved by all. He was a dear friend to many, a father and a husband. He will be missed greatly, but he will always live on in our hearts.
I pity his family. It sounds like he was a very good man.
He sees someone he knows.
Oh, look, there's my friend Bill. I wonder what he's doing here.
He walks over to Bill and clears his throat.
Hey, say, Bill, what happened? Who's died?
Bill doesn't reply. Charles clears his throat a little louder and addresses him again.
Bill, who's died?
Bill doesn't reply. What a Wonderful World stops playing.
Bill, come on. I know you're partially deaf, but you gotta be able to see that I'm standing right next to you.
He grows impatient and goes over to a woman and clears his throat.
Excuse me, Rosie, but can you tell me who's died? All of my friends are here, but how come I didn't hear about it? Is it someone from the paper?
She doesn't reply.
Oh, so you're ignoring me too. Well, fine.
He sees his wife, Elizabeth, and his 8-year-old daughter, Alice.
What? Elizabeth, what are you doing here?
She doesn't answer him. Alice looks up at her mother.
Mommy, is he really in heaven now? Of course, dear. All good people go to heaven.
He was the greatest man in the world, wasn't he?
Yes. Yes, he was.
She pulls her daughter into her arms and hugs her tightly.
Elizabeth? Who's died?
She doesn't answer.
Lizzie, dear. Oh, no. No, it can't be. Elizabeth? Alice?
The service ends and the crowd begins to depart, revealing a large tombstone set center stage and the words etched into it. Charles Q. Dowd, born July 11, 1950, died May 4, 1985. Charlie falls to his knees and sits in silent horror. Alice still remains next to the tombstone holding a white lily in her gloved hand. Death, who was hidden in the crowd during the funeral, stands off to the side, observing, a black suitcase in his hand. Charlie does not see him.
Alice, come on. It's time to go back to the church. Alice?
Yes, Mom.
She kneels down and places a lily at the foot of the grave.
I love you, Daddy.
Her voice begins to quiver and she drops down to her knees and hugs the tombstone.
Please come back, Daddy. I need you. I love you.
She begins to cry, but Elizabeth enters and takes one look at her daughter, rushes forward and pulls her into her arms, stroking her hair and gently shushing her.
It'll be all right, dear. Come on, let's go.
Alice takes her mother's hand and together they exit while Charlie watches them leave.
Elizabeth? Alice? What do I do now?
Death finally makes his presence known to Charlie.
You will come back with me.
What? Can you see me?
Do you see anyone else standing around?
Charlie looks around and back at Death and shakes his head.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He sets down his suitcase and opens it. He pulls out a big scroll, which he opens and lets it roll all the way to the floor. He pulls out a pair of reading glasses from his coat pocket and puts them on.
Now, let's see what we have here.
Reading off the scroll,
Charles Quimby Dowd, born July 11th, 1950 in Chicago, Illinois. Died May 4th, 1985 in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville? Why was I in Nashville? I live in Harrisburg. What was I doing that far down south?
Cause of death, lost control of the car on the way home from the business meeting. Death was immediate.
he looks up from his scrolls and peers at Charlie over his glasses.
Didn't feel a thing.
But how come I don't remember my own death? I remember everything else. My family, my friends, my childhood. Everything.
It is very normal for a person not to remember the event at first. Your memory will adjust soon enough.
Charlie sits down on his tombstone, trying to process everything.
I'm really dead, aren't I?
He realizes he's sitting on his own tombstone and jumps off suddenly.
Last I checked, you were. Why else would I be here?
Well, what happens now?
I'm to take you to your new home, which is where you'll stay for all eternity.
Well, I'm not going to, you know.
He gestures downwards.
Fortunately for you, your fate was not written to end there.
Charlie breathes out a huge sigh of relief.
You were running very late, however. You should have been up there 3 days ago. I've been traipsing all over the globe looking for you. Lucky I found you, of course. It's not safe for lost souls to wander around Earth. No good can come from that.
What do you mean by that?
Come on, it's time that we departed. I should have reported back yesterday.
Charlie looks back at the tombstone, then off stage in the direction where Elizabeth and Alice exited.
There's nothing left for you here. Forget about them, Charlie.
He turns to leave, but Charlie doesn't move from his spot. Death turns around again and extends his hand.
Charlie,
Charlie looks to Death, then off stage, then back to Death again.
let them go.
After a pause, Charlie gives in, and together they walk off, with Death in the lead. Blackout, end of scene. In the next few scenes, 28 years have passed unknowingly to Charlie, and it is now 2013. He has been spending eternity living in a rather happy place, but he can't help feel he's missing something. One day, Charlie leaves his heavenly home without permission from the Holy 13, and finds himself back on Earth. As luck would have it, he finds himself at the home of Alice Dowd, all grown up and married with a daughter of her own. This is an excerpt from the scene in which Father comes home. The Bennett's living room. Emily, Alice's 9-year-old daughter, sits on the couch, while Alice, his daughter, stands over her. The two have just had a fight. A knock at the door interrupts them.
Emily, would you please just go get the door?
Fine, whatever.
She gets off the couch and storms off stage.
What am I going to do with her?
She sits on the couch, places her face in her hands, and Emily yells from off stage.
Hello? Can I help you?
Alice? Is that you?
No.
Oh. I'm sorry, I thought for a second. So is this not the Dowd residence, then?
There's a sound of Emily slowly closing the front door.
It was, but now, excuse me.
Oh, wait. Can you at least tell me?
Alice looking off stage and calling.
Alice, who is it?
Emily screams off stage. There's the sound of a door slamming and she comes running into the living room screaming some more.
Emily, what's wrong? Are you okay? Who was...
David runs into the living room, a tool belt wrapped around his waist.
What was that? What's the matter with Emily now?
Mom, Dad, he thought, but then I closed the door and he...
Emily, what are you rambling on about?
Charlie walks on stage looking confused. Alice takes one look at him and screams.
Hello?
Oh, sweet Jesus!
He yanks out a hammer from his belt and waves it in a threatening manner over his head.
Get out! Get out of this house, you demon! How dare you!
Charlie throws up his hands.
That hammer probably won't do you any good. It'll only pass right through me.
Passed right through you?
I believe that's what I said. I mean, you...
Who are you really? What do you want with us? My wife is very close friends with the minister. We'll bring him here. I warn you if you don't leave us.
I don't feel so well. This has to be just a
She
dream.
falls back on the couch.
Mom!
Now see what you've done! Be gone!
He waves his hands around like he's trying to make Charlie disappear.
But I...
No! No buts! Get out, you freak!
Charlie to Alice.
Elizabeth, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to frighten you. I just wanted to see you again.
Elizabeth. But I'm not Elizabeth. That was my mother. She died 5 years ago.
Charlie freezes, his mouth dropping open.
Elizabeth's dead. But how come I haven't... You look just like her. No, you can't be. Alice?
Hi, Daddy.
My little Alice. Look how you've grown.
He turns to Emily, who takes a step back.
And this is your daughter, then?
Yeah. This is Emily. Emily, meet your grandfather.
Grandfather?
Yes.
Oh, look at you. You are the spitting image of your mother when she was about your age.
No. Go away. Just piss off.
She runs off stage with David following her, reprimanding her for her use of language.
I'm so sorry for Emily's behavior. She was just having a hard time taking it all in. I am too, for that matter. Daddy, why are you here again after all these years?
Because I miss seeing my beautiful wife and daughter's smiles and hearing their laughter every day. Leaving you behind was the hardest thing for me to do. I'll never forget the day of my funeral. I watched you and your mother walk away, and
Please don't say that.
I'm sorry.
28 years. It's been 28 years of living without you. Why couldn't you have come home sooner?
I'm sorry, I wanted to, but I couldn't. I'm home now, Alice.
I know.
I love you, Alice.
Welcome home, Dad.
End of scenes. Naven Manor, the musical. Notice air quotes. By Stephen McKnight. Author's note, musical is in quotes, because this really, in all honesty, is not a musical. Also, this play is intended to make absolutely no sense. However, he will say this, there is deep symbolism in just about everything, so feel free to overanalyze the entire play. Stephen most certainly will not be over there laughing at you while you do that. Scene, a room. On stage right, there is a dining room table with 6 chairs around it. On stage left, there's a couch. Above the couch dangles a light bulb covered in duct tape, as though it was repaired from previously being shattered. A loud crash is heard off stage. In from stage right walks Gina Naven, a tall, slender woman who is very fancily dressed. She sings to the tune of Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen.
Naven just killed a man, put a chandelier above his head. Now it crashed and now he's dead. Naven, the party's just begun, and there you go getting people right away. Naven, what the hell? Now we have to bribe the cops, and when they come around again this time tomorrow, carry on, carry on. This song is going nowhere.
In walks Eric Naven, a rich gentleman wearing a tuxedo. He continues the song.
Too late, that guy is dead, but his death wasn't my fault. He was swinging from the chandelier. We haven't had an incident that was this bad since that time you killed your husband in cold blood. Gina, ooh. I will bribe the cops. We will get out of this scot-free. Carry on, carry on. I guess I should stop singing.
The maid walks in from stage right. She opens her mouth to start singing, but after a glare from both Naven and Gina, she promptly closes it.
What is it, maid?
The guests are here, sir.
Guests? I didn't know we were having guests.
You said very clearly to invite all of your friends to the dinner party, sir. And since the handyman is still in jail, Mr. Newbell is still apparently deceased, and the Tanglestring sisters have filed a restraining order against you, our only guest is...
Let me guess.
Dramatic pause.
Alma.
No, sir. Copernicus Fallon. Needless to say, he is already on his way up here. Something about light fixture shenanigans going on at Naven Manor. You might want to have your pocketbook ready, sir.
Already on it?
He brandishes his wallet before returning it to his pocket.
Also, dear, I may or may not have invited a handful of business colleagues. You know, no-nonsense business sorts who have no immediate family.
She winks at Naven.
You know, with no one to give their millions of dollars away to should they, expire.
Naven clearly does not catch Gina's drift and proceeds to hastily straighten his bow tie.
So, we've got a handful of wealthy businessmen. Delightful. Maid, care to clean up the mess in the ballroom? Specifically the crashed chandelier.
The maid rolls her eyes.
And the thing that looks like a corpse under the chandelier, which most certainly is not a corpse.
The maid shudders and walks off to do her job.
Anyway, our dear friends should be here at any moment.
Now, Gina, just going over a few things. No light fixture-based murders while Copernicus is around, okay?
Of course. I'm far classier than that, dear. Would you take me for some low-life criminal who relies on chandeliers to do all her dirty work?
Just making sure.
Ding dong!
Gina, get the door.
Gina walks over and opens the door. In walks in Jerica Sullivan, a pretty young businesswoman in an evening dress. She does not look pleased, and proceeds to approach and slap Naven.
Naven, you cur! Where's Alphonse?
I don't know what you're talking about.
My gerbil! Alphonse! Where is he?
I don't know.
He pulls from his pocket a list and reads through it silently.
I certainly didn't kidnap him. The last time I kidnapped an animal, it was a poodle named Bubbles.
Bubbles!
I'll check the spaghetti.
Gina runs off. In walks in Darius Falsworth, an old gentleman accompanied by Copernicus Fallon, a cliché detective.
Ah, Nathan, great to see you again. Where's the corpse?
What corpse?
The one crushed under the chandelier. Where is it now?
That is none.
He takes out his wallet and slips Copernicus a $100 bill.
Ooh. Surely you're telling the truth. Anyway, how have you been?
Intact, thank you. Bailed Gina and the maid out of jail. The handy woman didn't want to work for me anymore. The maid was fairly apologetic for the whole attempted murder thing. Oh, and Gina wanted to marry me for some odd reason.
I see. And do you have any severe food allergies, Mr. Nathan?
No.
Just checking. Anyway, let me introduce you to my dear friend, Mr. Falsworth. I picked him up on the way here.
Oh, pleased to meet you, sir.
Pleasure is,
Ah! You broke my hand! Oh!
He collapses in a heap on the floor.
You monster!
Gina walks into the room.
Nathan, what did you do?
I just shook his hand.
Penalty kicks, I demand penalty kicks!
Mr. Falsworth used to play soccer.
You're gonna get a kick soon if you don't watch out.
Falsworth quits screaming and gets up.
Idiot.
Anyway, let's tour the kitchen, shall we?
Yes, but first,
Gina hands Sullivan a small furry object.
I found Alphonse. He was trying to climb into the pasta.
Thank you.
She cuddles the small furry object, and Nathan leads everyone offstage into the kitchen. The maid enters. Through the other door, Deadfellow enters, wearing a heavy raincoat.
Oh, hello there. You must be Mr. Deadfellow.
Yes, that would be me. Would you mind taking my coat?
Of course not.
Deadfellow removes his rain jacket, maid takes it, throws it across the room, much to the Deadfellow's surprise.
Make yourself at home. All the other guests are touring the kitchen.
Alright, thanks.
Maid walks off. Deadfellow sits down on the couch. Suddenly, someone starts singing the My Little Pony theme song.
My little pony, my little pony.
Deadfellow looks around to question. The lights dim. A scream, presumably Deadfellow's, is heard. Scene 2, same setting. Sprawled across the couch is the dead body of Deadfellow. Nathan, Gina, Sullivan, Falsworth, and Copernicus enter with plates of spaghetti. They sit around the table and proceed to eat said spaghetti, ignoring the corpse of Deadfellow. Sullivan then gets up.
I have to use the facilities.
Second door on the left.
Thanks.
She exits. After a while, a scream is heard, and Sullivan runs back on stage. Falsworth is clearly rattled by the scream and falls out of his chair, yelling about penalty kicks.
Penalty kicks!
Before hitting the ground and falling unconscious.
Why is there a man in your bathroom?
Nathan fails to see this as strange.
Oh, that's just Trent. Don't worry, he's dead. What?
How can he be dead? I can see him. He's very much alive.
Oh, he's a ghost. Because making him do a robot thing was too expensive.
He continues eating.
But he doesn't look translucent at all. He doesn't look like a ghost.
Our special effects budget is surprisingly low.
Again, he continues eating.
Strange day that was. I swear I'm still scraping vomit stains off the bathroom ceiling.
Everyone suddenly loses their appetite. Falsworth is still unconscious, mumbling to himself about penalty kicks.
Well, get him out of there!
He's stubborn. He won't move an inch.
Sullivan gives it a glare.
Fine. Trent, come here for a minute, please.
Enter Trent Newbell, a southern gentleman.
What is it?
Please vacate the bathroom while Miss Sullivan uses it.
Fine, but only because you said please.
He suddenly notices Deadfellow on the couch.
Deadfellow, a pleasure to see you.
He approaches the couch only to see Deadfellow is in fact a dead fellow.
Guys, I think he's deceased.
Copernicus walks over to the corpse, checks it for a pulse, and saunters back to the table.
Well, he's dead.
I wonder who did this.
Say, Gina, weren't you the one talking about murder beforehand?
Yes, but my plan is different.
To Copernicus.
How did he die?
Looks like,
He investigates the corpse.
it looks like friendship poisoning.
He holds up a small pink dart.
Delivered through this!
No, not me. Friendship poisoning.
You take pure friendship, inject it into the victim's bloodstream. They start feeling so loved, they start screaming, and they die.
So it literally.
Kills you with kindness.
Oh,
How horrid.
that's a terrible thing. Who mentioned to die while feeling loved?
Well, if you lot are all gonna stand around being idiots, I'm going to go and powder my nose.
She leaves.
Have fun. Make new friends. I hear these facilities are
He grins evilly.
to die for.
He suddenly feels very clever, but nobody laughs. He becomes sad and sits down on the floor to sulk.
Maid,
Maid enters.
clean this up.
He gestures to Deadfellow. Maid sighs.
I don't get paid enough.
She grabs Deadfellow's feet and proceeds to drag him off stage.
Now then,
A scream is heard off stage, presumably Sullivan's. The My Little Pony theme is heard being sung off
My
stage.
little pony, my little pony.
Everyone is silent. Sullivan walks back on stage.
Guys, I think I'm.
Deceased.
Yes.
My Little Pony theme, the friendship dart. I believe we're dealing with a seasoned assassin here. He uses the My Little Pony theme to distract his targets, and then brutally slaughters them with his pure friendship. I think we're dealing with the worst of My Little Pony-faced assassins. I think we're dealing with
Dramatically.
Joel J. the Brony Ninja!
Everybody stares at Copernicus as though he is crazy.
Roni Ninja.
Did I hit you on the head or something? Because that's just silly.
After my great work in the light fixture murders department, the NPD transferred me to a much broader unit,
Which is.
the Feral Bronies department. We track down feral bronies and bring them to justice. And Joel Chan is the worst of them all. He's an assassin, and a good one at that. But who hired him?
He thinks.
I say we'll lure him out, and then interrogate him.
Well, who just wants to run away?
Everyone's hand shoots up, save for Fallsworth, who is still passed out on the ground.
Then it's settled.
Everyone runs off stage. Fallsworth wakes up.
Who's that?
He gets up.
Nobody, eh? That's fine.
The My Little Pony theme song is sung.
My little pony, my little pony.
Fallsworth looks around in question.
Oh, I'm not alone.
Enter Joel-chan from the audience, clad in My Little Pony footy pajamas.
Oh, hi there. Would you mind showing me where everyone went?
No, I'm sent here by my mysterious employer to kill you.
Oh. Well, could you hurry up?
No, I must monologue first.
Lost.
I was raised in an orphanage, sought refuge from the world in My Little Pony. Became my life, my love.
Could you go on?
No, I must stop monologuing.
Shoot yourself.
Enter Copernicus wearing a water pistol, followed by the rest of the group.
Freeze!
No, I must not freeze.
He runs off.
That's that, I guess.
He puts away the water pistol.
But now, I have enough information to conclude who hired him.
He points at Trent.
Tell me, Trent, did these people have any enemies?
They were rich. Naturally, Nathan felt rich people needed to stick together, so he would always invite them to dinner parties and such. But they thought he was crazy.
Can we all just realize for a moment the fact that I almost died?
No! Now, Trent, how would Nathan react?
He would kidnap their pets and blackmail them into coming to his parties. He did so with me.
Interesting. And since he's richer than everyone, he's exempt from the law. But Nathan didn't hire Joel Chad, so it doesn't matter!
I didn't.
That's right. But Gina, you've hired assassins before, haven't you?
Once. To kill my idiot husband and inherit his money.
Thanks for that, by the way.
Anytime, dear. Anyway, it was my intention to kill all three of these business people at this party. Not with an assassin. Personally, I was just going to crash a chandelier on them.
That's my girl.
Nonetheless, you had the motive, and you had the opportunity.
Dramatic pause.
Oh, but you are not our killer.
I'm not.
That's right, because it was the maid!
Awkward silence 2.0.
She doesn't keep head enough for all that she does, so she reasons the best way to get paid more is to ensure her masters have more money. So naturally, she kills off all these wealthy people. And Nathan's legal mumbo-jumbo does the rest. He inherits all the money, gives the maid a good, beefy pay raise, and all ends well.
He is very proud of himself.
Now then, maid, shall we do this easy way or the hard way?
He looks around, only to notice that the maid is not there.
Oh yes, she's off disposing of dead fellow. I forgot.
He'll be back eventually. Now let's all just... Oh, let's tour the upper level, shall we?
I don't want to.
What do you want to do then?
I want to swing from the chandelier.
Yeah, no,
From
we're touring the upper level.
Everyone exits. Naven re-enters and speaks to the audience.
Now, personally, I was surprised to hear it was the maid. I had thought it was Gina. After all, she was hinting about killing people and all that. Oh well. Women always surprise you, eh? I sure hope this doesn't have anything to do with that guy I killed with the chandelier earlier. Whatever.
He exits and Trent enters.
So, turns out Naven's broke. That guy he killed, that was an IRS agent. Turns out Naven's bankrupt, and he's been bribing the police with, get this, counterfeit cash. All this in mind, I think Naven did hire Joel Chan. He needed the cash, and these guys had lots of cash.
He strolls off stage. Gina enters.
I don't think the maid did, honestly. Personally, I think Naaman did it just for me.
She sighs happily.
I think he knew what I was planning and wanted to save me the trouble. Oh, what a gentleman.
She skips off happily. Enter Joeltown.
It was the gerbil.
He walks down through the audience singing the My Little Pony theme
My
song.
Little Pony.
Really
I
loudly.
used to wonder what friendship could be, My Little Pony, until you all shared its magic with me.
Off stage, there's a thud. Fallsworth is heard screaming about
Penalty kicks!
Dead fellow re-enters.
Well, here's his daughter McGust now. How very interesting. Perhaps I can patch the walls and go peek.
He notices the audience.
But Joe, you can all get there. Anyway, I feel like singing.
He walks off stage while singing.
So long, good thanks for all the fish. So sad that it should come to.
The singing stops when there is a crash heard off stage, followed by screaming, presumably from Copernicus and Naven. Something along the lines of
Great. Now I'll have to bribe the cops.
is heard coming from Naven. End of play.